Imagine a world where machines can think, learn, and even create, maybe even better than we can. That world, that dream? It's no longer a distant fantasy. It's already here. Our story begins not with silicon chips, but with an idea. Back in the 1940s, scientists took the first steps, building artificial neurons that mimicked the human brain. These were the very seeds of what we now call neural networks. Then, the brilliant mathematician Alan Turing posed a question that would echo through the decades and change everything. Can machines think? His simple question sparked a revolution. A few years later, in the summer of 1956, a group of visionaries gathered at the Dartmouth Conference. They needed a name for this new, electrifying field of study, and so they officially christened it artificial intelligence. The journey had begun. The 1960s and 70s were a time of wild experimentation. Suddenly, AI could talk. A program named ELIZA cleverly mimicked a therapist, making people believe they were chatting with a real person. At the same time, a robot named Shakey was trundling through laboratories, navigating rooms, and making its own decisions. It wasn't truly intelligent, not in the way we are, but it felt alive. A spark of autonomy had been ignited. Machines were beginning to learn, to interact, to show the first glimmers of the incredible potential that lay ahead. It was a period of immense curiosity and wonder. But the early optimism soon faded. The 1980s promised so much but delivered very little. Hype outpaced reality. So-called expert systems could perform specific tasks, like diagnosing diseases or offering financial advice, but they were rigid and limited. The computers of the era were simply too slow, their memory too small to handle the massive complexity of true intelligence. Funding dried up and a deep chill set in. The media called it the AI winter. Many researchers abandoned the field, and labs grew quiet, but not everyone gave up. In the shadows, a dedicated few persisted, quietly teaching machines a new trick: how to learn from experience. They were laying the groundwork for the next great leap forward. And that leap came in 1997. The world watched, captivated, as IBM's supercomputer, Deep Blue, faced off against the greatest chess champion in history, Garry Kasparov. Move by move, the machine calculated possibilities at a speed no human could match. When the final piece was played, the unthinkable had happened. Deep Blue had won. It was a watershed moment. For the first time, a machine had outhought a human master in a game of profound strategic complexity. This wasn't just about chess. It proved that machine learning, the ability for a computer to teach itself, was not just a theory. It was a powerful, practical reality. Humans were no longer the undisputed champions of intellect. The game had changed forever. After that, AI began to quietly escape the labs and enter our world. The 2000s saw the first self-driving cars navigating city streets, a concept once relegated to science fiction. In factories, intelligent robots began working alongside humans, assembling products with superhuman precision and speed. And in our pockets and homes, smart assistants appeared, ready to answer our questions, play our music, and manage our schedules. AI was no longer just an abstract concept or a research project. It had become a tangible part of our daily lives. Machines were evolving from mere tools into collaborators, partners that could enhance our own abilities and reshape the world around us. The future was starting to look very different. Then came the true test. In 2011, another IBM machine, named Watson, appeared on the popular quiz show Jeopardy. It didn't just answer questions. It understood riddles, puns, and subtle nuances in human language, and it beat the two greatest human champions in the show's history. Just 5 years later, in 2016, the world turned its attention to the ancient game of Go, a game considered infinitely more complex than chess. Google DeepMind's AlphaGo challenged the legendary world champion, DALL. Experts believed it would be decades before a machine could master Go's intuitive, creative nature. AlphaGo defeated him 4 games to 1. It wasn't just calculating anymore. It was demonstrating something akin to intuition. It was beginning to surpass human abilities in ways we never, ever imagined were possible. The next revolution was all about creativity. Groundbreaking new architectures like transformers and the rise of generative AI changed everything yet again. Suddenly, AI could write. Models like GPT could generate articles, compose poetry, and even write computer code. And then they learned to see and create. Programs like DALL and MidJourney could take a simple text description and conjure up breathtaking, original works of art. The line between human and machine creativity began to blur. We were no longer just users of AI. We were becoming co-creators. Artists, writers, and designers started collaborating with these new tools, creating faster, smarter, and more beautifully than ever before. It was an explosion of digital imagination. Just when we thought we understood the landscape, something new emerged: Agentic AI. This was a paradigm shift. Instead of just responding to a prompt, these new systems could take a high-level goal, create a plan, delegate tasks to other AI models, and execute the entire project autonomously. We saw the birth of tools like AutoGPT, BabyAGI, and CrewAI. You could give them a complex objective, like research the market for a new product, and write a business plan, and they would break it down, search the web, analyze data, and write the report, all on their own. AI was now acting less like a tool and more like a human team member, but one that works at the speed of light, with incredible precision and without ever needing a coffee break. And that brings us to today, right now. The revolution isn't on the horizon. We are living in it. AI is everywhere, integrated into the tools we use for research, creation, design, and strategy. It's helping scientists cure diseases, architects design sustainable cities, and artists invent entirely new forms of expression. The questions are no longer about if or when, but about how. How do we, as humans, adapt? How do we work alongside these powerful new artificial partners to build a better future? The next chapter of this incredible story is not yet written, because the story of AI is, and always has been, the story of humanity's own potential and our endless quest to understand the nature of intelligence itself. The future is a collaboration.